So someone in my comments asked me what did I do for my leg routine. And today I decided to do a quick video to show you all the things that I do in at least one of my styles of routines. And what I mean by that is one of my styles is like, since I only have 30 minutes and 30 minutes is not quite enough, like to hit a big muscle group like legs. Like legs is one of your biggest muscle groups, and it takes a lot of effort to actually get that to grow. So 30 minutes is like right on the cusp of me being able to get a good workout in. So I've done a lot of trial and error, and what I've come up with is kind of like a circuit training for one of my types of workouts. So this is what I'm going to show you, like the different exercises that I do, and I'll kind of explain to you as I'm going how I incorporate this into like the overall scheme of my routine. So my first exercise is back squats. Now, if you're a beginner, a couple of key things you want to keep in mind is your positioning with the bar. So if you look at, most bars have like some bare stripes on them. So this one has some thin stripes, kind of like I use this to line up my hands. So anytime that I line up, I always want to make sure that my body is in between the lines. And that helps me make sure that my body is properly centered on the bar as well. So when you pick it up off the rack, you're not leaning to one side or the other. I pick it up off the bar, I'm just going to take a couple of steps back. And the way that I was taught was you don't just squat down, you hinge. So you shoot your butt back first. So, and these are just with your proper mechanics. So when you always want to squat, you shoot your butt back first. And you get parallel, and then you stand up. Now, this part is I go to different depths, degrees of depth, mainly because you always want to it engage your muscles more when you go a little bit past parallel, and because since I only put like no more than 225 on there, you always want to push your body a little bit more to compensate for the weight not being on there. So a couple of recommendations. So when you're doing squats or any lift for that matter, you always want to make sure you practice proper form before you start loading up the heavy weight, mainly because if you're building your body on a not solid foundation, what's going to happen is you're going to have a senseless injury that's going to put you on the sideline for a lot longer than you hope so. So all those gains that you've been working on, they're going to be gone and you're going to have to start all over. So if you're just starting out, or you're not comfortable, or you're putting in something new in your program, start with lightweight first. Keep your ego out of it. Practice proper form so you can move on and get better. So another exercise that I like to add to my routine is going to be front squats. Now, when you add things in like front squats and you already do squats, you probably want to separate those because your legs are going to be burnt out from doing squats already. So you might want to put another exercise in between doing back squats and front squats. It just comes as I think of it. So I know that it's going to be somewhere in my routine, but it doesn't really necessarily matter when, because I'm used to it, and I'm used to also switching up the routine to make sure that it's optimized for my time. So when you're doing a front squat, a lot of people hold their hands in different ways. So some people don't have the shoulder flexibility to hold the bar in front of them. So if you get the bar and you can't hold it in front of you, you always want to make sure you line your chest up with that rough space in the middle of the bar, and then you can cross over and lay it on your shoulders. So for me, it's not quite comfortable, and it always ends up leaving bruises right there. So I like to hook my fingers on the smooth lines. Now, once you have the proper form, you always want to make sure your feet are correct too, and it's probably like one of the most difficult parts in front squats, mainly because it's so awkward to look at your feet. So you probably want to position them before the best you can, but you're going to have to do a little bit of looking. And for these, I always like to keep my feet spread a little bit further out, just so that I can hit my quads correctly. So when I go down, and I always want to do slow too, just like I said before. So just like I said before with time under tension, I do the same thing with my lower body as well. So see, I only have one finger hooked under both sides. So as long as you have something keeping it up against your chest, it really doesn't matter. But you always want to make sure you are focused on if you have a secure grip on the bar. Now, another exercise that I like to do is Bulgarian Split Squat, mainly because I do a lot of things on both legs, so I also like to strengthen my legs one at a time as well. So there's a lot of different videos on different positionings of Bulgarian Split Squat, so I'm not going to really go over that, but I do switch the variations of my positioning as I do them. So this is just one of the few variations that I like to do. Just kind of, it depends on how your body is positioned to as to what muscle is emphasized on. So it could be more dominant on your quads, or it could be more dominant on your hamstrings, just depending on what your body position is. So the way that I like to do it, at least, is I like to extend my legs as far out as possible so they're both sitting at an angle. Then that's where I like to put my foot down. So I'll just boost myself up, and this is going to be my position of my lead foot. And then my second foot, I'm just going to lightly hang it off the bench. So you don't want much, much grip on your bench, because it'll prevent you from having a full extension. So as you go down, and I'm just going to do it without weight. So I'll go down and slowly come back up. Down, up. And then I'll just switch it to the other side. So instead of sitting down and repositioning, I'll just sit my foot right next to the other one, and then put my foot back. And you go down, up, down, up. So I had to re-record the last part, and the last part that I wanted to do was calf raises. So calves was one of the muscle groups that I kind of neglected over the years, mainly because they were just there. Didn't really care too much about the size, except for recently, maybe in the past couple of years, there was a friend of mine who used to frequently make fun of my calves about the size of them and things. So that gave me a little bit of body dysmorphia. And because of that, I started like fully focusing on that, or focusing a little bit more on that. And what I noticed was it is a very hard muscle group to develop, but if you do it over enough time, if you do it frequently enough, they will grow. So the way that I got mine to grow was I did full range of motion, and I did very slow reps. So coming down from a calf raise, it's you raise all the way up on your calves, and then it's a slow return back to the bottom, but you're not stopping at the bottom. You're going all the way past. So you always want to make sure you get something to hang your toes off of, so you can hang your feet a little bit more, so your heels drop a little bit lower to the ground. And then you're going to do a slow raise all the way back up. Now, this has made my calf muscles grow like probably twice the size in the past year or so. And I'm not saying that to say that they're humongous now. They were pretty small to begin with. So now I think that they just actually fit my body. And that's the couple of things, or the few of the exercises that I do. And like I said, I'll leave the full workout in the description. But so how do you structure this workout? So you always want to do 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps. And with the rest time, I usually do 30 to 45 seconds, and I go right into the next lift. So there's usually only enough time. If you're not changing weights, then you're drinking water. If you're not drinking water, then you're working out. Because there are really no true rest periods, mainly because there's not enough time to rest. And it may sound a little bit exhausting, but that's the point. Because we don't have a long time. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So you have to make your time work for you as effective as possible. So this is one of the kinds of routines that I like to do, and I'll keep cranking out more of these because there's a lot of different things that I incorporate throughout the weeks that kind of keep my routine fresh, and I'll show you all of those later on. But I had to re-record this part of the video mainly because my head was cut off on the last part of it. But I hope you guys have a great Friday. I hope you got something from this video, and if you want more videos like this, just drop a comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll keep them cranking out every week. So until the next one, I'll see you guys later. Happy Friday and peace.